Everybody, and welcome. Ms. Contra, let's call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. All right. Ms. Hill, do you mind leading us in the pledge this evening and our moment of silence? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hill. All right, moving on to 3.1, address agenda and consider adoption or recommend changes. Ms. Hill, any items that you'd like to change throughout the agenda or any shifts that you want to make at all?
No, none at this time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Dr. Sorensen?
No, sir.
Ms. Underhill?
No, thank you.
All right. And currently, Representative Pingarelli is not with us at this point, but she is on her way. So once she gets here, we'll get her engaged. I don't have any items I'd like to move either. So that said, I do need a motion to approve 3.1, address agenda and consider adoption and recommend changes.
I move to approve the agenda as stated.
I'll second that. Ms. Contra, we have a motion by Ms. Underhill and a second by myself. Board members, please cast your votes. Motion passes. 4 yeas, 1 not present. Thank you, board members. All right, moving on to section 4, recognitions. 4.1. Ms. Airy, welcome.
Good evening, President Sandoval, members of the board, Dr. Reynolds, cabinet, and guests. I am so pleased to be bringing forward for you tonight not 1, not 2, but 3 incredible recognitions. At the last governing board meeting, you will recall that we recognized 2 of Peoria Unified's stellar employees who earned the esteemed Raymond S. Kellis Leadership Award. Our 3rd award winner was hard at work hosting curriculum night for her families and was unable to join us, but she so graciously has agreed to be here this evening so that we can recognize and celebrate her. If you'll recall also, I'll just remind you that to earn this coveted award, our employees really must demonstrate that they go above and beyond to emulate all of the leadership qualities that were truly exemplified by our district's former superintendent, Dr. Raymond S. Kellis. Tonight, it's my pleasure to introduce to you and to celebrate Park Ridge Elementary School 2nd grade teacher, Miss Teresa Maitner, for earning the Raymond S. Kellis Leadership in Teaching Award. If she would stand first so we can give her a big round of applause. And I want to share with you just a couple of things about her before I invite her up this evening. But she received this award for all that she does to help her students achieve. She is known around campus for instilling positive values like kindness, integrity, responsibility, and a focus on excellence. She helps her students to become leaders, and the impact that she makes on the campus is felt each and every day. She started multiple clubs on campus to give students those extra opportunities to succeed. And just like we did with the others that we shared with you just 2 weeks ago, I would like you to direct your attention to the screen so we could relive that moment when she found out she was receiving this award.
Thankful that she is helping them to become leaders and that they represent the impact that she has on them each and every day. She has started multiple clubs on campus to help fill in the gaps in childcare that some families face, giving students extra opportunities to succeed. Not only is this teacher the true embodiment of Peoria Unified Pride, but she represents Park Ridge Pride as well. It's my pleasure to announce that Teresa Maitner from Park Ridge is this year's Raymond S. Kellis Leadership in Teaching Award.
I'm just in shock. But seriously, I am a product of Peoria. I went to Kachina Elementary, Cactus High School, and I've been at Cotton Bowl Inn. My love, Park Ridge. And one of the things that we do at Park Ridge is we are a kind campus, which is so important these days. And we just promote that kindness like you wouldn't believe. But thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
Well, and if you enjoyed that clip, I encourage you to watch the rest of those celebrations from our opening of schools event. It was just truly an honor to be there and to celebrate these three fine employees. Ms. Maitner, we have to bring you up. I know our governing board will have some words of encouragement for you. As you're walking up, we'll have, I think you have a fan club here with you this evening. If we can have you stand so we can give you recognition, Mr. Stone, Ms. Wright, and I think some of your other colleagues. So let's give them a big round of applause as well.
Thank you. I'm going to say really quickly, thank you so much. I mentioned earlier today, I am a product of Peoria. I went through, I think in third grade at 1978, started at Kachina, went through Cactus, came back, student taught at Cotton Bowl for 10 years, and then taught for 10 years, and then I opened Park Ridge, and I've spent 19 years there. Anyway, so I just wanted to say thank you so much. It's truly an honor.
No, thank you and welcome, board members. Questions, comments, Ms. Hill?
Well, congratulations. What a great honor, and it just sounds like you have such a heart for Peoria Unified. Obviously, you've been with our school district for many, many years, and you're pouring it all back into our kids. And I love the fact that you're blessing them every day by encouraging them to be kind to others and for integrity and character. These are all qualities that we want every single student to have, and you embody that so perfectly. And so we're just privileged to have you aboard, and thank you for everything you do for our students, and congratulations.
Thank you again so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Hill. Dr. Sorensen?
Yeah, congratulations. You can feel the energy coming from you, and it's always nice to see people who've been in for decades who still have that fire and still have that energy. Yeah, you like to get after it, so you can tell that right now.
Yeah,
so,
we do.
Just very grateful that you're here and grateful for you, and congratulations. Thank you.
So much.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sorensen. Ms. Underhill?
Yes, you said you were honored, but honestly, it's our honor that you have dedicated your life, to these kids and second grade. So much fun, such a really neat space to, impact their lives. And we're just so grateful and just really honored that you've chosen to stay with us. This was obviously what you were made to do. So
My purpose.
thanks for living out that calling with us. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Underhill. Representative Figueroa, welcome.
Thank you. I wanted to say congratulations, and I will look at the tape to the initial, so thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, so I'm going to echo what everyone just said, but I'm also going to add to that. Our history goes way back. Our son Ryan had you. He was probably, well, he's 22 now. So just thank you. You're one of the many individuals in this district that really continues to shape him and who he is and who he's becoming. You talked about, those extra opportunities and to succeed and be leaders. And, I'm grateful for just what you embody as an individual and how you model that human kindness and really model, ambition and drive and confidence. So just thank you for that, and just grateful for all the lives that you have impacted and continue to impact and will continue to just move forward. So thank you.
It's a collective effort. I will say I have an amazing administrative team who empowers us to do our best. And I also have amazing teammates, Ms. Suzanne Junk and Mrs. Leslie McGahee, who helped me start these clubs. And we empower kids to be leaders. So anyway, it's just a true honor.
Yeah, well, Dr. Sorensen, he referenced the energy and that you have, but I do know this, Mr. Stone, and it's when I visit Park Ridge, that energy, definitely crosses the entire footprint of that campus, and it is leadership, but it's also the individuals who are in those classrooms, including your maintenance workers. So just thank you for a great campus. And just the continued drive and commitment to uplifting our kids. Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Congratulations again to Park Ridge and to Ms. Maitner. Well, we're going to keep the recognitions going this evening. Tonight, we're also going to be celebrating one of our very dedicated band directors and his talented group of students. We're pleased to share that Peoria High School, under the direction of Mr. Jeffrey Malone, recently received the William E. Richardson Program of Distinction Award from the Arizona Band and Orchestra Directors Association, otherwise known as ABOTA. This award recognizes high school band and orchestra programs in Arizona that have a high level of achievement in all areas during the previous school year. And I have to tell you, this is among the highest honors that can be received and a first for our district. So we are very, very thrilled to be recognizing Peoria High School, Mr. Malone, and his students. To qualify for this award, a program must meet the following criteria: receive a superior rating by at least one ensemble from the school in each area for Area Concert Festival, Area Jazz Festival, State Concert Festival, and State Jazz Festival. The program must qualify for participation at the Arizona State Marching Band semifinals, must have participation in the Arizona Music Educators Association solo and ensemble competition, and must have participation in the Arizona State All Band or All State Jazz Band. As I shared, this is the first time any of our bands have earned this honor from the ABOTA Program of Distinction Award. And Peoria High School's band was one of 8 programs in the state of Arizona to earn this coveted award. So as you know, our band programs are under the direction of Mr. Robert Panzer, who leads our arts education efforts and certainly does so much to support our district and the arts. He's here this evening, so I'd like to thank you for being here with us, Mr. Panzer. Mr. Malone, who I'm going to invite up in just a moment, has been the band director at Peoria High School for the past 5 years. I'm so thrilled that he has joined us this evening. He has about 70 students involved in the program, and a few of them that are here with us this evening. So, Mr. Malone, can you stand so we can give you a big round of applause for this achievement? And I know we want to recognize the students that are here tonight as well, representing the band: Timothy Ehring, Tatum Champion, Leanna Chen, and Caitlin Shoemaker. If you would stand so we can give you a big round of applause. And we will welcome to the podium Mr. Malone. I'm sure you'll have some comments to share with him.
Mr. Malone, welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Board members, questions, comments? Mrs. Hill?
Oh, I'm so excited. I have a deep passion for the arts, and I am just very excited to hear that we have won this, or you have won this very prestigious award, and it represents Peoria Unified very, very well. And a long time ago, I played the clarinet in the band. It was a long time ago, but it's just one of those things that I think is very important, that we support the arts. And it just really pleases me to hear that we're doing so well with that and that you're bringing it to the next level. It's so important. You know, our kids get so much out of the arts programs. And so it sounds like you just have such a heart for this, and you definitely have the capability to bring so much to the table musically. And I'm just excited to see, you know, what it all brings. I'm kind of disappointed y'all didn't bring your instruments to play for us. I mean, come on. So I would have loved that. But congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much for bringing your gifts to our district. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Mrs. Hill. Dr. Sorensen?
Yeah, congratulations, quite an honor. But probably one of the most significant things I think was mentioned was that 70 kids in your band, and the more kids we can get involved is great. You obviously have a lot of talent and a lot of ability, but it's nice to know you're a kid magnet too, because it takes them to kind of make these things happen. So congratulations to all of you for being here, and congratulations to you, and thank you so much for the value that you're adding to that community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sorensen. Mrs. Underhill?
Yeah, I would just echo all those comments and just say, I mean, only 5 years, think about, that's a huge accomplishment to have done that in just 5 short years. So way to go to you guys. That's amazing. But I just want to thank you for your dedication, because I too have a little marching band experience, and I know like all those competitions, all those hours of getting those charts read and right and everybody in their right spot, and I can't even imagine the coordination that has taken. So just thank you, and congratulations, and keep going, because it's fun in college as well, so just keep after it. But thanks for all your dedication.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Underhill. Representative Pingerelli?
I just want to also say, congratulations. The arts are so important. I guess I just want to ask you a question. How were you able to do it in 5 years? It wasn't only you, it's the students, but I guess what did you do?
I feel like I have to give all the credit to the students. They've just bought into everything that I've tried to bring to them, and they've taken that passion and that excitement and really just ran with it. And especially these group of kids, these were our infamous COVID freshman kids, right? So it would have been probably a lot easier for them just to walk away and not have to deal with all the stuff that we had to go through during their sophomore years and all that stuff. So the fact that they were able to stick it out and come back even stronger and better than before. I think it's just a testament to them and their resilience.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Pingerelli. It's, one of the things that I continue to say about Peoria Unified is, we are rich in programs, and one of them being, our arts programs. And when we talk about the arts and courage, right? You putting yourselves out there and performing in front of many or even just a few, I can't think of a bigger act of courage to do so and not know how the response is going to be, right? So congratulations there, for just continuing to be great and working every day to, just continue to grow and make yourselves better. I attended, I think it was last year, the marching band competition at Glendale Community College. Was that last year?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and you guys, and I think you and Ironwood both fared very, very well in that competition. But just thank you, Mr. Malone, for your leadership and, and continue to really grow our students, in the arts, from the arts perspective, which definitely helps them be successful, in the classroom as well. So thank you for that, Mr. Panzer. Again, arts programs are unparalleled, so I appreciate your leadership there. But congratulations again for just being the best versions of yourselves every day, and continue to work in that direction, and just continue with those lessons learned and use those skills throughout life. So great job, Mr. Malone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you.
Appreciate all your support. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Mr. Malone, and students for taking time this evening to be here. Well, we have one final recognition for you this evening, and it's kind of a 2-for-1. We have many accolades and things that you're hearing about going around the district, but one in particular that's pretty big. We have 2 schools that have approached some big milestones this year. The first being Ira A. Murphy Elementary School, and this year they are celebrating their 50th year serving their community and their students. And it is certainly a school that is a point of pride for us here in the Peoria Unified School District. You heard Ms. Maitner tell her Peoria story going to school here. If you move around our district, you talk to many of our employees and community members that are so connected to our schools, and certainly certainly Ira A. Murphy is one of the schools that is just rich in tradition. We have invited their principal, Mr. Wallander, here this evening to briefly share with you just a little bit about how they'll be celebrating this milestone anniversary. So if we can please give Mr. Wallander a round of applause as he comes up.
So good evening, board, Dr. Reynolds, President Sandoval. 1972 was the year Murphy started, along with the invention of disco, pong, and Nike was founded. Our community, our staff, we are really excited to celebrate this milestone. I want to give special shout outs to our librarian, Valerie Duffy, and our art teacher, Dr. Lori Eldridge. They have been working since this summer, coming up with different ideas. They found a lot of things. They've been at the school. They have the longest tenure there. They even found our Murphy Spirit song, and it's handwritten. So we're going to be teaching that to our band and our choir. But again, they've been working really hard coming up with ideas for our 50th year. We're doing our 50th year kickoff on November 2nd. We'll be having an open house, inviting prior Murphy admin and staff, hoping that Connie Woody, Rick Rodriguez, and Bob Johnson can make it. They're the ones who hired me into the district quite some time ago, and they all have ties to Murphy. We're inviting our city council, mayor, community partners such as the Lions Club, Diamond Club, and of course, you're all invited as well. And that's going to be 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock on November 2nd. Our committee's coming together with other events as well. November 30th is the 72nd day of school. 1972, 72nd day, we'll be doing activities campus-wide surrounding, 72, some maybe disco competition, something along those lines. April 28th, we're having a tree dedication. And then our big community event is March 11th. We're bringing back our 5K, or as I'm calling it, the 50 hectometer. We'll be having music, rock wall, running, of course, walking, and our committee is already meeting regarding that event. And it's going to be a great year to be at Murphy. We're really excited, and I'm excited to be part of the history there.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Ms. Hill, any questions, comments?
Wow, how exciting. Half a century. That's pretty good, right? I mean, y'all gonna make T-shirts? I mean, that'd be fun.
Oh, we do have T-shirts. We're editing it a little bit, trying to get the ears in there squeezed.
Kind of earned the right to wear a T-shirt,
Yeah, we're T-shirt 2.0. Yep, we'll have those if you guys come for you.
Very nice. Yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, there's a lot that's happened over the past, 50 years, and obviously looking
Absolutely.
forward to another 50 of celebrating that school and all the accomplishments that will be to come. And it sounds like you've got a lot of really fun, big events to come. And how exciting for the kids that are actually there to be a part of the 50th year. So
Absolutely.
it's going to be really fun, especially maybe for the seniors in particular, because they're there on a kind of a stellar year type of a thing. So that's really neat. So I'm very excited for Ira Murphy, and this is a great opportunity to, take that next step into the next half of the century. So congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Hill. Dr. Sorensen?
Yeah, it's exciting. 50 years of culture, and hopefully I'll be there on March 11th for the 5K, and it should be fun. See you there.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Sorensen. Mrs. Underhill?
Yeah, it sounds great, and thank you for going to all the effort and your committee for pulling that together, because it's important to the community as well. I do have one question. Have you unearthed a time capsule by any chance, or do you plan to look around?
I don't know. We talked about a time capsule, and I'm sure there are others buried somewhere on campus. So we're going to have to ask previous administrators. So excited.
Thank you, Mrs. Underhill. Representative Pingarelli?
Well, I definitely won't make the 5K, but I'll try to make November 2nd. So thank you for
Okay.
being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, congratulations. I mean, it's there's a lot to celebrate across the district, including, these milestones. I'll definitely let my wife know about some of these activities. She's a product of IRA A, and then she went on to Cactus. So, yeah, like Dr. Sorensen stated, I'm looking forward to the 5K. So we'll definitely, that's right, rematch. But no, congratulations, and just looking forward to being involved and supporting it in a way that we can. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
Well, another milestone that we certainly have to celebrate is a big one. It's for the Peoria High School, and they are celebrating their 100th year. I know board members, you've been on that campus. It is just a gem in the heart of the Peoria Unified School District. We have invited their principal, Mrs. Landa Tartaglio, to be here this evening, and I know she has a special guest that she will bring up as well. I did just want to mention, Mr. Malone, I see a collaboration maybe in the future here with the Spirit Song at Murphy and maybe the Peoria High School coming together. So it's very exciting. Many celebrations happening at Peoria High School. So Mrs. Tartaglio.
Hello, President Sandoval.
Welcome.
Members of the governing board, Dr. Reynolds, and administration. Thank you for having me here. I am the proud principal of Peoria High School, and it brings me so much pleasure to be celebrating in this unique time of 100 years. I'm celebrating as a parent. I have a current senior at Peoria High School as well as several alum. It was interesting at our first alumni, which we're going to talk about, event that we celebrated last Friday. My stepdaughter had came from Washington, D.C. to surprise me. And so I was introducing her as an alum, and I got her graduating class wrong. So she corrected me. So it's 2006, 2017, and 2018 are my children that are alumni. So it's really special to be celebrating that as well. We have been fortunate. Peoria High School was established in 1919, which is amazing. I always like to refer to the kids. Do you know what year our state became a state? 1912. And Peoria was established in 1919, and then we celebrate in 1922. So we actually started our celebrations last spring and are continuing those in our big events, which Bobby Gonzalo is going to come up. He bleeds green. That's why he doesn't have the green shirt on. I still have to wear the green because I'm still earning mine. But we have a lot of celebrations going on. Some of them, it's present if you come on campus. We have the historical designation of Old Main, and we are making efforts to beautify our campus. So we're revitalizing our Japanese garden. As you know, we were one of the first schools to welcome the Japanese American students to our campus, and so we're really proud about that. We have new 100-year flag light poles on the interior and exterior of the campus that are really beautiful to show our Panther pride. As well as we have went into a community partnership. The city of Peoria helped us along with our district and then site funds and our committee funds that you'll hear from Booster to make a beautiful display case. It is absolutely grand where we are, we have a historical inventory going on of all the things from Peoria, and you can't imagine the things we're coming up on. So you really have to come to Peoria High School to see a full effect. There are things that I have never seen, like uniforms pulled out from the very early years. It's just so exciting to see everything that's going on. But I want Bobby Gonzalo to highlight those, but I would like to do a big shout out to our community members. We do have a 100-year community committee going on, and so that's Kathy Montoya, Eva Ajusana, Betty Osborne, Tom Doty, Ginger McLam, along with several of our staff members. Skinny Hill, Sarah Shows, Jenny McNutt, our student council representative, and Elmar Kobos certainly have been critical to that committee. And what Mr. Malone wouldn't tell you earlier, I'm going to tell you, one of the latest vehicles that I see next to mine, so I always feel comforted walking out at 9 or 10 o'clock at night because Mr. Malone is right there. The band room is right there. So he works extra hours. And his wife, Mrs. Malone, is the daughter of Skinny Hill, who is the voice of the Panthers. So this is true Panther Pride fashion in being the first in the district to earn that award. That's just first of many that we celebrate. We also celebrate being the first FFA longest going program, ag program in the district too. But I want to bring Bobby up so you can hear about the celebrations that we're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Gonzalo, welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting us come and speak. First of all, I'd like to talk about the band, though. I went to school, Peoria High School, for all 4 years, and then I've taught Peoria High School for 34 years. And I saw a lot of bands, and I saw a lot of football teams and stuff like that. And we always used to say, and when I was wrestling coach and football coach, we used to say, we don't want show horses, we want workhorses. That band is workhorses. They work to get better, and that's why they're great. So anyway. We started this committee to celebrate the 100 years of Peoria, and we want to do something completely different. So I'm just going to go take you through. This last Friday, we had a group of people come. They were graduates from 1943 to 1969. They loved it. When they come into the door, the first thing that they do is they get a name tag with their picture when they were in high school. The second thing on the back of it, of that name tag, is a little card. And you can get a card. I gave it to Miss Sari so she can give it to everybody and it wants it. On one side is our website. We did a website for Peoria High School, the history of it. We started out by decades, and we went back all the way back to 1922, and we did the 20s, the 30s, 40s, and we've gone all the way up to 210, and we're going to finish the last part probably this year. But it was like Skinny Hill, Tom Doty, and myself. We did the website. It has pictures of every senior class that we've had, going back all the way to 1932 or 3, because that's when the first yearbooks came out. So that's one thing. On the back of this, the other thing that they see after we talk a little bit about in the auditorium is they see a film of the history of Peoria High School done by Ron Hildreth, which is one of the teachers of Peoria High School. That's on the back of it. So on the back of the card, it's a link to it. I urge you to see that. He did an excellent job doing that, and it gives you a great history of Peoria High School. That's one thing that we've done with it. Once we do that, then what we do is we do tours of campus. We start out with the most important thing to especially these people that were from the 40s and 50s and stuff. We go to Old Main, and that's where they grew up. That honestly is where they became young adults. Old Main is so important to those people, you would not believe it. Some of those people stayed in there for an hour, just walking around and seeing where they've gone to class and done that and done that. They didn't go out to the gym. They could have gone out to the gym with the rest of them. They just stayed in there in Old Main. And it's completely different than when they were there, but that was important to those people. Then we took them out to the gymnasium, the Ray Metakawa complex out there, so they could see the differences in that, and that's completely different. One of the things that they're building out there is that land I put in there is a 50-foot trophy case that we're going to put the history of Peoria High School in there, what we have, including things like, if you've ever been to Smithsonian where they do the dresses of the first ladies for inauguration, we're going to do that for Peoria High School. The dresses, the shirts, everything that people have worn over the years for Peoria High School. We want to maintain Peoria High School's history, and that's what we're doing. Then from there, they could come back, and we sold bricks to fund this thing. People said, "Oh, you're going to sell 100 bricks." We sold 1,000. We sold. Take it back. We sold 1,200 bricks already. Okay, and we've made $34,000 for the school and what we're doing. And the thing that we're trying to do with it, the brick was one part of it because we have it in a breezeway. We have a Hall of Fame in there with this, which is former students and community members that have gone into government, board members, everybody, but they had to be graduates from Peoria High School. So we have a Hall of Fame in that breezeway. And then we have all the bricks there. And we have a second section of bricks that's just from kids that graduated from Peoria High School that went to the military, starting with World War II. And we went back and did research, and we found out who those people were, and we've done bricks for those. And we got donations from the community. We got donations from one of the city council members and from one of our old students, Lee Lopez, gave us $2,000. And Danette Dunn was the council member that gave us $2,000. And with those things, we started that part of it, and we're going to continue on until we fill the whole place up with bricks. They also get a shirt, okay? This is a shirt. We did this specifically because this is their home. The back of it is Old Main, okay? So everybody gets a shirt during the thing. Then we go to a dinner so they can reminisce and do all those things. And the one thing that we did this time, and we're going to continue doing it for every game, we took Mr. Bissinger, who's 1943. It's the farm right north of Peoria High School. He graduated in 1943. He was an all-state football player, and he served in World War II in the Pacific Theater. We let him flip the coin for the game. And this week what we're doing is a former board member, Gilbert Lopez, was a former board member and president of the board, I think, and he graduated in 1951. His kids are coming to the game, and we're going to flip the coin with their kids. So we're doing a lot of things, and we've doing it 5 nights. We're doing the 40s through the 60s. This week is the 70s. The week of the 16th is the 80s. Then we're doing homecoming, a little bit out of order, on October 14th. And then on the last one, November 4th, we're doing the 90s. And a lot of them are doing reunions after the next day on Saturdays. So it's worked out really well. And one of the highlights too was when the band came and played the fight song for them. Thank you, guys.
Just one last mention. So one of our great traditions, because it's 100 years of tradition and excellence, right? So one of our great traditions is we still do the old style parade for homecoming through our city. And we visit 2 of our feeder elementary schools. We throw out candies. All of our clubs and activities have different. And I have something special this year that we haven't done, but I'm not ready to share. Come out and see. And it will be fabulous and beautiful. But that's on October 14th for our homecoming celebration.
Very good. Hang tight just 1 second. Mrs. Hill, questions, comments?
Well, it's just amazing, right? 100 years of excellence, and it's nostalgic. It's just a beautiful thing, you know. I think that Peoria High definitely is a historic landmark in our community, and I just think it's amazing. So many things that have happened, you know, throughout history that, you know, Peoria High was a part of. You know, they were actually a part of history, and 100 years, a lot has changed in 100 years. They didn't even have yearbooks when they first opened. That's crazy, right? So I think it's amazing that you're going to honor the history of the school and also honor the veterans. I think that's just a wonderful idea, and that's a great homage to the veterans that have gone to that school. And I'm just really excited about all of the things that you're putting together to honor the last 100 years of excellence in that school, and all the students that have come out and are, you know, products of Peoria High that have done amazing things. And I love that. I love the throwbacks to history, and I think it's going to be a learning experience for the students now, even to just see, you know, the changes in history, and, you know, kids can kind of get enthusiastic about history, you know, just from seeing, you know, everything placed out there with all the different, you know, uniforms over the years and that sort of thing. I think it's just great, and something is just happening right in their own backyard. So very excited for all the things that are coming up for Peoria High, and hopefully I'll be able to go to a few of your events within the next year. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hill. Dr. Sorensen?
Yeah, really exciting. And, you know, I didn't know Bobby, but I've heard a lot about you just from the people that I've worked in the district. So it's always great when you have Peoria legends come up and talk about the impact that school made on those people, right? Tens and tens of years pass, and they just want to spend their time in there and just enjoy that. So I bet the energy and the community and the connection of what you guys are going to do over this next year is just going to be so powerful. So thank you so much for all the work you guys put in. And I look forward to definitely visiting some of those events. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sorensen. Mrs. Underhill?
Yeah, no, I would agree. And it's a big service to our district, the work that you're doing, because, you know, it tells Peoria High's obviously history, but it also tells a lot of history about what was happening, you know, in the times throughout our community at large. So really appreciate the time that you're putting in, that you're building that in for our current students, for people that have been there in the past, and just the impact that, that place has had. So I think it's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Underhill. Representative Pingerelli?
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for coming and sharing this evening. Besides Centennial High School, which is where our kids went to, Peoria High School is the high school I've visited the most for various functions. And I do have all the dates, the 16th and the 14th, so I will definitely try to swing by. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Pingerelli. Yes, thank you for all your efforts and your leadership there at Peoria High School, Landon, and Mr. Gonzalo stepping in and really doing just a fantastic job on just paying tribute to, really our legacy school, right? Peoria High School. And, and it's personal for me. I mean, I talked about my wife going to Ira A, then Cactus, and our kids, Park Ridge, then Sunrise, but it goes back even further than that. My mom graduated from Peoria High School. My aunt, she was pictured, graduated in 1933 from Peoria High School. And before you guys try to guess my age, I'm 20 years removed from my older siblings. So they call me the rollover accident. So it's, but I mean, and walking those trophy cases to see Michael's names on like the basketball state championship teams in 1941. So, I mean, this district and this city, has a special place in my heart without question. So I really appreciate both you and all involved taking the time to really just bring that history out, that rich history, and yeah, just like I said, paying tribute to the impact that this district has had, but more specifically Peoria High School, Old Main, and how it just continues to impact the lives of many. So thank you for that. All right, thank you.
And President Sandoval, I just wanted to share that we'll compile all those dates and details and make sure we get them to all of you in a Friday report.
Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. Before we move on to board comments, if anybody wishes to leave, you are more than welcome to do so now. You're more than welcome to stay as well. Love to have you. Congratulations, everybody. Have a great evening. All right. 4.2, board comments. Mrs. Hill.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Sorensen.
No, sir.
Mrs. Underhill. Representative Pingerelli. So the only thing I have is, so last week was the big Sunrise Liberty football game, and as always, it's a big matchup, and it really, for me, when you go to that game and how it brings the entire community together is just amazing. But how the community came together, the student body, and many individuals to also honor, one of our very own that evening was just inspiring. So thank you for all those who were involved in that. It was, it was amazing to see, without question. So big shout out to all those involved. Thank you. All right, 4.3, superintendent comments. Dr. Reynolds.
Well, let's keep the celebrations rolling right along. President Sandoval, Governing Board, Cabinet, and guests. First of all, we had 6 of our students from Centennial High School who received their AP Capstone Diploma, which is a diploma program from the College Board based on 2-year-long AP courses, which are AP Seminar and AP Research. To receive the AP Capstone, students must earn a 3 or higher in the 2 AP classes mentioned, or 4 additional AP exams of their choice. These students develop critical skills in research, analysis, evidence-based arguments, collaboration, writing, and presenting. And I want to congratulate Jetta Jaziznik. I got that right. I practiced like 3 times before we tried to say that. Colin Jones, Chloe Lyons, Rylan Wynn, John Shida Mendel, and Jordan Warren for all your hard work and determination. We just want to congratulate them for that, and we wish them the very best in their post-secondary career. Last week, Heritage Elementary School hosted their annual Family STEAM Night, where students and parents participated in activities in the areas of science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And I'm pleased to share that this year was the most successful one yet, as more than 300 students, family, and community members attended their event. So thank you to the more than a dozen of our community partners who helped facilitate the event and share more information about STEAM and how it supports our students. Next week is Arts Education Week. So if you tour our DAC lobby area, you'll see our faculty art exhibit, where we get to show off the talents of our art teachers and other faculty members. And as well, we have one of our amazing bus drivers from our incredible transportation department who chose to participate again this year, so we're excited about that. We hope you take a few minutes to enjoy the artwork that's currently on display. Last week, as you mentioned earlier, our high school football players kicked off their 2022 season. I want to highlight the special game between the Liberty Lions and the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs, where for one night they put their friendly rivalry aside to celebrate and honor the life of Liberty graduate and football player Zach Hunzinger, who passed away this summer after his battle with cancer. Zach's family was in attendance and participated in the opening coin toss, and I just want to thank both of those communities and the entire Peoria Unified community for coming together to honor Zach's legacy and making this celebration of life possible. And that ends my comments.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds. All right, moving on to Section 5, public comment. Request to address the governing board regarding matters not included on the agenda. We do have one public comment asked for this evening. So as a matter of housekeeping, the board president shall keep control of the meeting and require the speakers and the audience to refrain from abusive or profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, applause, protests, or other conduct which disrupts or interferes with the orderly conduct of the business of the meeting. Personal attacks on board members, staff, or members of the public are not allowed. It is inappropriate to utilize a public hearing, the public comment segment, or any other agenda items for the purpose of making political speeches. Engaging in such conduct and failing to cease such conduct upon request of the presiding officer will be grounds for ending a speaker's time at the podium or for the removal of any disruptive person from the meeting room at the direction of the board president. With that said, our public comment comes from Mr. Joe Blair. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I love going first. Thank you, the board, superintendent, administrators. I want to kind of bring you up to speed about transportation in a nutshell. Basically, let's start with the all-district annual kickoff meeting, which more importantly should be called the all-educators kickoff meeting. It wasn't the all-district kickoff meeting. A lot of the district was left out, namely one of the biggest sections. Guess what? Transportation. Was one mention of transportation made? Certainly all the teachers, the aides, everybody deserved the compliments, the awards, and whatever. You left out transportation. You left out several other areas, I'm sure. Possibly food service, possibly maintenance, possibly landscaping. So why did you waste our time to have you there for an hour? Nothing was said about us. But yet we provided transportation to that meeting. The bus drivers, no one recognized us. We don't do it for recognition, but come on. It was an all educators meeting, period. Secondly, the transportation department right now is in dire straits, period. We have routes that have been consolidated. We have drivers that are overcrowded. We have people doing double runs. We have routes being split in order to pick up all the kids necessary. I personally, 2 days ago, because we have problems with the buses because of overheating, The mechanics keep up fast enough, getting them repaired and back on the road. I personally had to go make a whole different run, including my own runs, to get those kids to school. Why? We don't have enough drivers, guys. We have 6 runs that were canceled. 6 runs. I don't know the criteria that was used, but these are parents that are used to having their kids picked up and delivered at home. Now you have completely changed their entire routine in doing so. Why did you pick out these 6 routes? How many of all of you have kids in Peoria School District? Were any of your kids affected? How would you react if that happened to your kids and to you? Parents both have to work nowadays. We have consolidated so much. The children are truly suffering. Our buses are overcrowded. My bus will hold, legally, I have 12 seats, legally will hold 36, 3 to a seat. Guess what? I was running with 34 high school students. They were sitting 3 abreast all the way across. Finally, one of the kids called and they pulled them. I now carry half.
Mr. Blair, so 3 minutes is up. I appreciate your time and your voice this evening. As always, Dr. Reynolds and team.
Oh, my time's up?
Yes, sir.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
There's a lot more, guys.
Okay. If we could please make sure we connect with Mr. Blair on this item. Thank you. All right, that concludes public comment this evening. Moving on to Section 8, action items. 8.1, ratification of the 2023-2024 school year calendar. Ms. Airy, welcome back.
Good evening, President Sandoval, members of the board, Dr. Reynolds, cabinet, and guests. I am before you this evening to provide you some background information on our school calendar process and to ask for your consideration to ratify the school calendar for the 2023-24 school year. I'll remind you that we do this annually as part of Policy ICA. It says that we will form a committee and involve all stakeholders in gathering feedback regarding the formation of the school calendar, and that you'll approve 3 years of calendars. And then prior to November 15th of each year, we'll bring forward for review and ratification the subsequent school year's calendar. That's what we are presenting for you this evening, and I've provided you there with a full copy, so it's a little bit easier to see than the one that's included on the PowerPoint on the screen. I'll remind you and many of our current community members, parents, teachers, and families that are familiar with the professional development opportunities that we provide for our teachers. They are among the greatest recruitment tools that we have in our district, the opportunity to provide that additional support for our staff. We have coined them Modified Wednesdays. They began, of course, as Modified Mondays, and then we adjusted them to Wednesdays. We are going to once again be moving forward with Modified Wednesdays to provide that support. We'll be bringing those forward to you in a report at a later date, but we first wanted to bring forward to you our calendar for the school year per policy. You'll see the calendar. You originally approved this on September 22nd of 2020, so we have added in some additional key dates such as those parent-teacher conferences that you'll see indicated there on the screen, and we ask that you vote to ratify this calendar so we can begin our work and planning for the next school year. I stand for any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Airy. Mrs. Hill, questions, comments?
Yes, actually, I just wanted to discuss the opportunity for us to have April break coincide with Good Friday for future reference. Sometimes, of course, it does coincide with Good Friday, but I think that would be an opportunity for us to acknowledge the holiday with, we don't have to call it Good Friday break, but we could call it, April break, and just have it coincide with Good Friday so that people that are interested in celebrating that holiday may do so. So for future reference, I'm requesting that we look at the calendar to see, because it's just a small modification of just a couple of days, but it can make a world of difference for people that want to acknowledge that very important holiday. And my other question was for you, actually. When there are parent-teacher conferences, just remind me, does that mean that the whole day, is it a day that has no school, or is it half day, or what happens on parent-teacher days?
President Sandoval, Mrs. Hill, those are half days for our students. And if you'll refer to the second page of the paper that you received, you should see, I believe, on the right-hand column, a listing of the times for dismissal on those dates.
Oh, perfect. So there's a second page, so there's more information. All right, well, thank you. So that definitely explains that little tidbit and much more. So thank you so much. And like I said, if you just make some, for future reference, a small modification to see if we might be able to get that April break to coincide with Good Friday, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
President Sandoval, Mrs. Hill, I'd be happy to bring that forward to our calendar committee when they reconvene about a year from now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hill. Dr. Sorensen, questions, comments?
No, sir.
Mrs. Unhill? No, thank you. All right. Representative Pingarelli?
I just wanted to know, it said in the previous slide that, is it March 2017, we didn't have we didn't have like a half day off every single week. What did we do?
President Sandoval, Representative Pingarelli, thank you for that. We did conduct professional development days, but they were very sporadically placed all throughout the calendar. We received for many years prior to that date when you made that change, many requests from our families looking for consistency in our schedule. So it was much easier for them to plan for that dedicated time if they had that on some kind of a regular cadence as opposed to just some random days throughout the school year.
Okay. And then, I don't know if you can answer this, how many hours of professional development does a certified teacher need? It's just I'm just curious.
Representative Pingarelli, I'm going to look to our cabinet to see if they have that answer, if they'd like to maybe bring that back in a report to you.
Just to clarify, you're referring to recertification.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I thought it was quite a few.
I believe Mrs. Vesley may be able to address that.
What I'd like to do is to dig in, because we have different certifications in different timeframes now. And so depending on if you renew for 6 years or 12 years, the requirements are different. So I would like to just research that and bring that to you in a Friday report.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I just thought it had quick answers, so I thought it was quite a few.
I would say it would be about 90 hours for one. I think it's about 180 for the others.
Shaking yes, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
90 or
thank you.
180 hours.
No, that's it, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Pingarelli. Ms. Ari, real quick, and you probably mentioned this when you were going through your presentation. So the modified Wednesdays aren't listed only because you're still convening with the calendar committee or other stakeholders?
President Sandoval, the calendar committee is required to go through and bring forward to you the start and the end of the school year, as well as those full days that we have off as a school district. Following your approval of the calendar, our curriculum and instruction team goes through to make those recommendations for the modified Wednesdays. So we'll now begin that work.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you for that. All right, if no further questions, comments, I do need a motion to approve 8.1, ratification of 2023-2024 school year calendar.
I move to approve 8.1, the ratification of school year 23 to 24.
I'll second that. Ms. Contra, we have a motion by Mrs. Hill and a second made by myself. Board members, please cast your votes. Motion passes with 5 yeas. Thank you, Ms. Ari. Thank you, board members. All right, moving on to section 9, discussion items, 9.1, student board representative. And Dr. Reynolds.
Well, thank you, President Sandoval, Governing Board, Cabinet, and our guests. I think at our last meeting, we had a request from one of our Governing Board members to, which obviously had a second, to discuss the concept of student participation at Governing Board meetings and feedback. And so we wanted to place this on the agenda for discussion and kind of hear what some of those thoughts are before we would potentially bring a recommendation. Currently, what we do is invite our members of the Superintendent Student Advisory to participate in our meetings. They come in as guests. We introduce them. Typically, they'll sit with Cabinet, but that's what our current practice is. It's not something where we have a student here each and every board meeting. We haven't started that yet because we haven't had our first Superintendent Student Advisory, but that's coming up next week, I think it is. So anyway, that is the reason why we're having this discussion, and I'll turn it over to you, President Sandoval, for some guidance.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds. Questions, comments? Mrs. Hill?
I guess I'd be interested in finding out exactly if there are any, kind of a definition of the responsibilities of this specific position. Would they be able to contribute in some way? Are they going to have a voice in some way? Because I personally don't think it would behoove them to just sit on the sidelines and just watch the whole thing, which is, informative and helpful to them on that level. But I think what the student that was here prior, what he really wanted was to have a voice. And so I'm wondering if how would that look? Would we have an opportunity to let a student have a voice, and would it always be the same student, or how do they? I'm just wondering how would it come to fruition? What would it look like? And I think it would be great to have a voice from the students, to have them have a say over certain things, or an opportunity for them to comment or something to get their perspective, the student perspective, which is, I think, we're not necessarily always able to get that because we're not in school. We don't really get that perspective. So I'm just wondering if we're going to be able to give that student a voice and just what that would exactly look like in a boardroom.
Okay. Well, I mean, that'll be something that we'll add to further details as we further build this out.
No, exactly. Those are great
Okay.
questions to kind of guide us in our thinking if we were to bring a recommendation to the board.
Yeah, gotcha. And any thoughts on what you would like to see, Mrs. Hill, that might help Dr. Reynolds in the district?
I personally think it's a great idea to give a student a voice. I do. I don't know if I think there should be a little bit of selectivity about who that student would be, and I don't know how we would decide it, or how it would be decided what that, student would be, or if it's going to be from different schools, or, how would we come to that decision. But I think it's important to give the students at least a voice to get, like I say, their perspective, because we're sitting on the board, we're not in school, we don't really see what they see, we're kind of a bird's eye view of what's happening in the schools, and they're on the ground level. And so I love the idea of getting their perspective, whether it works out or not. It may not, but sometimes they might give us an epiphany we hadn't thought of before, and that we can utilize somehow. So I would love for them to have a voice, and like I say, I would be interested to see how that would play out in a board meeting,
Sure.
with the logistics of it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that clarity. Dr. Sorensen?
No, sir.
Yep. Mrs. Underhill?
Yeah, so I put on the agenda because I was contacted by a student that, had shared some information and actually had done some digging and found some actual research that has been done. And there are approximately 15% of boards in the larger district areas that do have actual student members of their boards. For the most part, it's just one member, or there's a couple members, and these communities range in size, et cetera. And the way that the students are either elected or put on the board, in one case, or in a couple cases, they had to have a certain number of signatures, so they actually had to get almost elected, right? In other cases, they were student advisory, and then they, would select delegates, or, something like that, somewhat like, boards do it, and when they send delegates to associations, et cetera. But the thought was just that I think I think our student advisory is awesome and it's a great step. It's just that to date, and I know there's been, significant issues in between the last couple of years, but we don't seem to get regular input, and we don't necessarily even get like regular reporting on what that group is saying, So I just was thinking if we could formalize that now that things are, I don't want to say, normalized, but now that is actually going on, if we could formalize that conduit between the student input and the board and make that more consistent and give that an opportunity for those students to actually be engaged in this process, I think that could be really beneficial. So I think there is precedent on other boards across the country for us to look at and then identify and talk to our students, obviously, about how they see that rolling out and how that might work.
Thank you, Mrs. Underhill. Representative Pingerelli?
Well, I'm okay with the way we have it now with the Student Advisory Board. I know students are able to come and speak to the board every board meeting. They're able to email. So I'm fine with the way we have it at this point.
Thank you, Representative Pingerelli. Yeah, I mean, it's, I think it's been said a couple times by Mrs. Hill and Mrs. Underhill just around, I mean, look, the reason we are here is for our students. They are our target audience, and, giving them a platform to have a voice on a consistent basis, I think it is important. So, we can get, it's important as a board member to be able to realize input, from multiple perspectives. And we get that frequently from the district, our teachers, staff, but not consistently from the individuals, again, who are our target audience, our students. Now, Ms. Ari, you might be able to refresh my memory on this. I mean, when we had students sit on Cabinet Row prior, I don't know if it was every board meeting or if it was once a month, but I mean, I know we have a few different programs to realize student voice from a district perspective. We have the SEATS program. I'm not sure if that's been ramped up again, but allowing, again, just giving them another channel, another platform, I think is important. But was it consistently once a month? Do you remember that we had a
President Sandoval, members of the board, that was actually an initiative that Dr. Reynolds started regarding our superintendent student advisory. And so as Dr. Reynolds shared, we will meet with that group for the first time next week. At that time, we will certainly extend the invitation if they want to join us at a board meeting and participate. Many times that is dependent on their schedule and their other extracurricular activities.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, I know we used to, again, have a student on Cabinet Row consistently prior to, entering into the pandemic. And, I know there was, various reasons why the students, I guess, elected to stop attending our board meetings. But to Mrs. Underhill's point, I think this is a great opportunity for us to, as you ramp up, right, those programs that we currently have, how do we ramp back up, the student representation at our board meetings, whether it's once a month or if it was every board meeting. I just don't recall the frequency, but whatever that is. So to Ms. Representative Pingerelli's point, I mean, I'm assuming she was referring to, how we've always done it, right? Which was that way, just having a student now on Cabinet Row.
And President, and to your point, it was sporadic because it is based on their schedules and what they're able to do, and so we would throw that out. We'll continue to do that until we come up with a different or potential recommendation. We have that meeting next week. We'll take this topic to them, and then we'll report out in a Friday report on what their feedback was and what that could potentially look like for the future. And then we've also got a few other groups. We've added students to our superintendent's stakeholder advisory, which is made up of parents and teachers and classified staff and administrators. And now we'll also have students on there. So we can take that to them as well and get some feedback. And then, we'll give us a little bit of time and do some research and potentially bring some options to the board.
Okay. I think, one thing I'd like to just throw out there as an idea, I mean, you brought up the Friday report, right? Within that report, I'm not sure if I've seen like I'm going to call it a student's corner, right? So where versus the district kind of taking what they heard in a seat session or with the student advisory committee, actually having, a student, have a space within our Friday reports as well, to kind of report on what they're seeing or what they're feeling or, how we can be a solution.
That's great. We'll look at some potential options. Thank you for those.
All right, thank you. Any further questions, comments on this line item? Nope. All right. Moving on to section 10, informational reports. 10.1, report on upcoming meetings and events. Ms. Eric?
President Sandoval, nothing to add to the report other than all the events that you heard earlier this evening.
Perfect, thank you. 10.2, legislative, state, and local updates. Ms. Myers?
Thank you, President Sandoval, members of the governing board. I do not have a report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. 10.3, budget, facilities planning, and construction report. This report is on our website for reviewing at your convenience. 11.1, other business, board member opportunities to readdress agenda items. Mr. Seal, any items that you'd like to readdress this evening?
No, thank you.
Dr. Sorensen?
No, sir.
Mrs. Underhill?
No, thank you.
Representative Pingerelli? All right. I don't have any either. 11.2, requests for agenda items for future governing board meetings. Mrs. Hill, any items?
I'm not sure if this is doable or not, but I would very, very, very much like to fix our transportation issue too. I know we all do want to have that fixed. Everybody does. And I'm just wondering, is there some way that we might be able to put like a focus group together or a brainstorming group together to come together and to try to figure out a solution to the problem? And I don't think it's a financial one. So I think we need to think outside the box a little bit here. And I think we need to possibly put together a group of people to come up with some ideas to try to solve the problem, because I just don't feel like we kind of hit a plateau and we're just not moving past it. And I would very much like to see some improvement in that area, and everybody's, debilitated because of it. Parents, students, teachers, schools. I mean, it's just kind of a disaster. So I would very much like to see if we can try to make some headway. And maybe there's just no easy fix, but maybe I keep thinking there's got to be a way to, and I've seen other states do some fancy finagling and some unusual thinking outside the box type of things that I think we need to consider.
So sorry, just to be clear, are you requesting like a study session on transportation or?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I don't know if it should be us that discusses it or if we should try to put together a small group, a focus group of people that work in transportation that would have the ability to, or, it has to be people that actually have some input that would be helpful. I don't have input that's helpful. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I would love to have some people that have the experience and the know-how to bring it to the table to say, hey, let's think outside the box. How can we fix this? And talk to some professionals dealing with transportation issues to come up with an outside-the-box solution to this problem that seems to be just, it's been going on too long. And I really would love to see a fix for it of some sort.
Okay.
At least moving in the right direction.
So thoughts on a Friday report that kind of gives a state of transportation, if you will, right? So kind of where we're at and what some of our challenges are and where we're headed, as a Friday report. And then, from there, potentially, we can dig deeper, focus groups, adding more individuals into the circle to come up with solutions.
Yeah, I agree, and I think part of maybe the research that needs to happen is see what other states are doing, because it's a nationwide problem. It's not a localized problem. So I think what we need to do possibly is look into what is working in other states.
This isn't on the agenda.
Right.
So I think I have a really solid understanding of potentially what we can do. We can do start with a Friday report.
Perfect.
And then we'll move from there if we need a potential item on the agenda.
Yep.
So thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. So I'll second that, the Friday report around transportation. Dr. Sorensen, any items? Mrs. Underhill? Representative Pingerelli? I don't have any items this evening either. All right, so we'll move on to section 12. 12.1. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:15 p.m.
I will move to adjourn.
I'll second that. Ms. Contra, we have a motion made by Mrs. Hill and a second made by myself. Board members, please cast your votes. Motion passes with 5 yeas. Thank you, board members. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. Cabinet, Dr. Reynolds, thank you, sir.